BMW is recognized as a beacon of German engineering. For more than a century, they have been constructing world-class motors for both airplanes, civilian cars, and race cars. With more than 2.3 million vehicles produced since their inception, BMW is the 12th largest producer of motor vehicles in world history. But even though other manufacturers have produced more cars, few surpass BMW in quality. Today we are exploring 10 things you didn't know about BMW. As many people know, BMW didn't get its start making cars. In fact, the Bayerische Motorenwerke was founded in 1916 to make jet engines, motorcycles, and farm equipment. This continued after the end of World War I with one exception. The end of the war brought a halt to the construction of aircraft engines, as the Treaty of Versailles forbade Germany from building them. So BMW shifted its focus to railway brakes and built-in motors. During World War II, BMW manufactured war materials for the German military. This was not uncommon, as most of the manufacturing facilities and production plants in Germany came under the control of the government following the Nazi invasion of Poland. During this time, BMW was devoted almost entirely to making aircraft for the German Air Force and motorcycles for the German Army. Civilian automobile production came to a complete stop until after the war. This was a decidedly dark period in BMW's history, as they used political prisoners as workers and supported the Nazi regime. After the Nazis lost the war, BMW had another major upheaval. Because BMW provided armaments to the German military, the Allied forces took control of each of the BMW plants and dismantled them. To prevent the total destruction of their company, BMW began to produce pots, pans, and other kitchen utensils until they could once again produce motorcycles and automobiles. Finally, after World War II, the car manufacturer we know today was formed. In 1951, BMW was able to produce its first automobile since the start of the war. The car was called the 501, and it started a lineage of cars that brings us to today. Though we mostly think of BMW producing luxury civilian cars, they also offer a few models that would appeal to military personnel. They have worked with politicians, diplomats, celebrities, and other elite clientele to deliver maximum safety and peace of mind while working with luxury vehicles that have professionally finished interiors. BMW actually offers 3 different levels of protection on different armored models: Security, Security Plus, and High Security. In the case of their newest car, it'll take fire from an AK-47 assault rifle at a distance of 10 meters and keep on rolling. Unique features include security glass and an armored passenger cell with sealed joints that won't let hot lead through. Options allow buyers to add even more protection. For example, extra underbody armor is available that can withstand an attack from a hand grenade. If drones could be a concern, an armored roof can handle a blast from up to 200 grams of C4. In order to prove the vehicle's efficacy, one of BMW's employees had the job of shooting and exploding prototype cars. In addition to the normal dangers of road traffic, customers who buy an armored car are exposed to special threats, such as attacks with firearms and explosives, said the employee. Protecting our customers from these dangers is both the challenge of my job and the motivation behind it. As fossil fuels continue to imperil our future and our environment, electric cars have become increasingly popular. But these vehicles are far from new. In fact, BMW produced a model as early as 1972, the 1602e. Conceived as a prototype in 1969, this battery-powered Beamer premiered at the 1972 Olympic Games in Munich, conveniently in time for the OPEC crisis. At the 1972 Olympic Games, BMW used the 2 prototype vehicles as support cars for the marathon, though even then they recognized that the specific drawbacks of the electric drive could only be resolved by advances in the field of battery technology. The 1602e used 12 12-volt batteries. Combined, they weighed in at an alarming 771 pounds. As you might imagine, this massive weight from the batteries took its toll on the car's performance, with the sprint to 31 miles per hour taking 8 seconds en route to a top speed of only 62 miles per hour. Because the car could only travel 37 miles on one charge, the overall project isn't considered to be a massive success. Regardless, it set the tone for a whole lineage of cars that have continued from 1972 until today. Believe it or not, certain BMW engines actually run so quietly that they produce fake engine noise so the driver is not alarmed. BMW's active sound design tech replicates engine noise inside their M5's cabin using the car's stereo speakers. The precise sample is determined by engine load and RPM. Some of the real engine notes are still audible to the driver, so the recording is more of a backing track. BMW says the setup helps the driver shift by ear and reduces the chances of bumping the rev limiter when using the full RPM range. BMW is hardly alone when it comes to enhancing engine sounds. When Lexus launched the LFA, the company wanted drivers to experience the full range of the car's V10. To achieve this, Lexus contracted Yamaha, not the Yamaha that built F1 engines in the 80s and 90s, but rather the musical instrument division, to produce its engine noise. This is the opposite of the active noise cancellation technology employed by Honda in its Odyssey minivan, which uses the car's speakers to cancel out cabin noise with out-of-phase sound waves, and an inversion of the Prius proximity notification system, which uses external speakers to make the silent hybrid's presence known to pedestrians. However, as cars become increasingly silent, these fake engine noises may become more common. Back in 2016, BMW celebrated its centenary year by unveiling a series of future-looking concept vehicles, the first of which is a shape-shifting autonomous car with artificial intelligence. The BMW Vision Next 100 is an attempt by the manufacturer to predict what cars will look like in the not-too-distant future, when driverless vehicles are commonplace, and artificial intelligence can learn and then predict a passenger's behavior. If as a designer you were able to imagine something, there's a good chance it could one day become reality, said BMW's design chief Adrian van Hooydonk. So our objective with the BMW Vision Next 100 was to develop a future scenario that people would engage with. Instead of steel, aluminum, or even carbon fiber, the Gina Light Visionary model has a body of seamless fabric stretched over a movable metal frame that allows the driver to change its shape at will. It includes over 800 independently moving triangles, which then shape the elastic skin. It resists high or low temperatures, does not swell or shrink, and the movement does not slacken or damage the fabric. The body changes its shape according to exterior conditions and speeds, and it also allows the driver to change its shape at will. The BMW M1 is extremely unique in that it represents a brief and storied collaboration with the Italian sports car manufacturer Lamborghini. But due to the latter's money problems at the time, BMW ended up taking over the project entirely. While production began in 1978 and lasted until 1981, just 450 road cars were built. The BMW M1 holds a place in fans' hearts because, though it was a short-lived experiment, it became the patriarch of an entire family of cars. It passed along mid-engine engineering, lightweight components, and aerodynamic developments to the popular and long-lasting M3 and M5. Out of the 453 cars constructed, 399 were road-going units, while 53 were made for motorsport, specifically racing. Designed in 1977 by the Italian master Giorgetto Giugiaro and planned for production as part of a manufacturing deal with then-tiny Lamborghini, BMW built the M1 to compete against the less expensive, more powerful Porsche cars ruling a special European competition series called Group 4 and Group 5. The M1 finally took to the racetrack in 1979, but failure dogged it from the first. The Pro Car series brought mixed reviews, providing a show of brilliance but also evidence of early engine problems. It was discontinued in 1980. Paradoxically, as computers are increasingly incorporated into cars, they are also much more susceptible to hacking. A recent bug allowed hackers to access BMWs and operate their car doors remotely. The flaw affected models befitted with BMW's connected drive software, which uses an onboard SIM card. The software operated door locks, air conditioning, and traffic updates, but no driving firmware such as brakes or steering, BMW said. German Automobile Association ADAC, which reported the bug to BMW, said it had demonstrated on several models that hackers could use their mobile phone to open a car within minutes without leaving a trace. ADAC didn't provide much detail on the attack, other than to say it would only take a few minutes for a hacker to execute. According to Reuters, researchers at the association created a fake cell network which it used to trick the BMW vehicles into taking commands from their mobile phones. Manufacturers are attempting to create new security features, but it is difficult to safeguard against a new generation of cybercriminals. South Africa has 3 of the top 50 most dangerous cities in the world, and ordinary defense systems don't always work well in this country. Soon after the end of apartheid, South Africa was improving politically, but it was still in pretty bad shape, because South Africa in 1998 had the highest rates per capita of murder, assault, rape, and carjacking. Enter the BMW flamethrower, also nicknamed the Blaster. The Blaster was a liquefied petroleum gas flamethrower installed along the sides of the vehicle under the doors. Should a group of carjackers suddenly attack the vehicle while it is stopped in traffic, the occupant could flip a switch and direct 5-meter plumes of flame upward into the facial area of anyone trying to enter the vehicle through the doors or windows. The flamethrower was invented within legal bounds, considering that in South Africa it was and still is legal to use force in self-defense. At $3,900 or $655, it offers a cheap, dramatic defense against carjackers. While the device didn't catch on around the world, it's certainly an interesting invention. BMW claims to make the ultimate driving machine, and now it's made the ultimate drifting machine. The modified 2 Series Coupe and 6 Series Grand Coupe are able to hurtle around a racetrack and control a power slide without any driver intervention. Using 360-degree radar, ultrasonic sensors, and cameras, the cars sense and adapt to their surroundings. The new Active Assist feature can bring a vehicle back into line in demanding driving situations without any input from the driver, according to BMW. This is just the latest iteration of BMW's autonomous driving tech, which began with its Track Trainer project that used GPS, waypoint markers, and uploaded track maps to run around Laguna Seca and the Nürburgring nearby as fast as a professional hot shoe. This new suite of systems has been undergoing testing in Germany for the better part of a year, logging some 9,000 miles of real-world driving in cities and on the Autobahn, keeping up with 80-mile-per-hour traffic. Further proof that your next car will be a better driver than the average citizen. This reads like a tabloid, but it's absolutely true. According to USA Today, California man Henry Wolf alleged in a 2012 lawsuit that a 4-hour ride on his 1993 BMW K1100 RS motorcycle led to a severe priapism, or prolonged erection, that lasted 20 months. Wolf claimed in his suit against BMW and seatmaker Corbin Pacific that the ridge-like seat of the bike caused the painful condition that left him unable to engage in sexual activity, which is causing him substantial emotional and mental anguish. My client has suffered a serious injury, a complete erection for a year and a half, lawyer Vernon Bradley from Sausalito, California told WBTV on Monday afternoon. Now he suffers from impotency. Bradley says Wolf got medical opinions from 3 different doctors, including an expert on priapism from the University of California, San Francisco. There is no medical opinion consistent with this condition, but that hasn't stopped Wolf from pursuing this case.